And now, straight from Hempstead, Long Island to the Rap Genius office in Brooklyn, here's Roc Marciano. Welcome to Outside the Lens with Rap Genius.
Thanks
for having me. Sean, and I'm here with the incredible Roc Marciano.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. I'm a big fan. I'm really glad you could make it out.
Thanks a lot, man. No problem, man.
Definitely. And I know you have quite an extensive history in the rap game, and you've gone over the details of it elsewhere, so I'm not going to get too into the nitty gritty. But for people who aren't familiar with who might not be familiar with you, can you give us an idea of who you are and your background?
And I'm Roc Marciano, recording artist. I'm from Hempstead, Long Island. Just been rapping for a while, man. Just making music, living.
And I know there's a ton of rap music. It gets overlooked, unfortunately, but a ton of classic rap music came out of Long Island. And you have a bit of a connection to my favorite group, Public Enemy.
Definitely, yeah, man. PE. PE used to record in Hempstead, man. So, I used to, see them, and I was just around, the neighborhood, and just seeing the movement start from, from WBAU to, dudes being like, worldwide stars.
Rap Genius.
The very beginnings, before they were in a group, and there's on the radio.
Yeah, man, I remember the radio station and stuff, you know what I'm saying? I used to listen to the radio, the college radio used to play all the hip hop, so I remember them from that, way down back of the dial.
Yeah. That's incredible. And then I think, if I'm right, you did some stuff at the studio they worked out of pretty regularly.
510 Studios, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I started my first time ever recording was inside 510 Studios, which was their studio. They had a producer that used to work with the Bomb Squad. He was like an understudy. His name was Curtin Slick Young. Slick used to let me and my man come through and make joints.
Nice. So, and I know there's a ton of other Long Island artists as well. I know you've been really inspired by Rakeem.
Definitely. Rakeem, you know what I'm saying? My biggest inspiration as an MC.
What'd you take from him in particular? So I feel like people get different things out of him, whether it's like flow or vocabulary or metaphors.
Definitely flows, you know what I mean? Like more advanced patterns, you know what I'm saying? Which was just more advanced from the most basic ones in the beginning, in my opinion. But flow patterns and, tracing that is like when I was starting. Tones and just, adding that intelligence to roughness, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, got that from Roc. A lot, I think he was like the blueprint for me early. Even style, like, people want to call it swag. I mean, that was Rakeem, velour suits, Air Max Nikes and, shit like that. Did Trump jewelry.
Rap Genius.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he was, he had the biggest chains and the latest jackets from Dapper Dan.
Dapper Dan's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was a Dapper Dan dude, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Definitely. And one of the producers, you work closely with a lot of great producers. I know relatively early in your career you worked pretty regularly with Pete Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that like? What'd you learn from him?
Pete, just Pete's like Pete's a brother, man, you know what I'm saying? You just learn, you just can't never stop digging, man, and being hungry to find new sounds, man. Pete's just, you don't even have to talk about what he can do as a producer, man. He was like, he's got too many classics, you know what I'm saying? Can't even name them, you know what I'm saying? So, learning from Pete, just one of the best that ever did it. Just chopping up samples and really digging and getting a lot of music and doing a lot of interesting stuff, man. So you constantly learn from Pete.
As far as flow and patterns and stuff that you were talking about a second ago with Rakeem, one of the things I really love about your style is you have this unique thing where, to my ear, and maybe I'm sure you think of it differently, you have a lot of like short phrases, one after the other. But within those short phrases, there's so many rhymes that are like so dense and so packed. And I was hoping you could talk about how you develop that, or even if you think of it that way.
Yeah, because I don't think of it that way. I just try to, structure my rhymes to make sure that, when I'm listening back, it's I can catch stuff later. So I try to hide a lot and a little. So yeah, I try to, get as much out of, the words. You know what I'm saying? I want to say more, but use less words. So that's why the phrases are short. I don't feel like I gotta spend 4 bars trying to say something I could just say in a half a bar, even if I could. So that's why I structure it like that. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get as much in one rhyme as possible.
Who'd you learn that from? That conciseness.
I would say from studying, probably studying the greats. You know what I'm saying? Studying the Rakims, the Biggies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just the Nas, Cool G Rap. Just studying the greats. You know what I'm saying? Just start learning. You start to develop your own taste and how you want to sound, and I think it had a lot to do with that too.
Mm-hmm. And your sound as a producer is really, really unique, and I know a lot of that comes from loving soul music. And I was hoping you could talk a little bit about soul music and its relationship to your beats.
Yeah, soul music, man, is like, that's my favorite kind of music. You know what I'm saying? That's my favorite music. I mean, even though I love all kinds, like I like rock, soul, jazz, blues, fusion, you know what I'm saying? I just like music, so really it's just about, being a music fan. So that's where the ideas come from, and I'm just trying to find stuff that's interesting and not typical.
And I've had one of our past guests on the show has been R.A. the Rugged Man, another proud Long Islander.
Definitely.
And he is so proud of the scene out on Long Island when he was growing up, and has tons of artists at his fingertips that not many people would know, but that he thinks really highly of. Who are some Long Island rappers who the world should know about that maybe only sort of hardcore heads would know, or people who were around then would know?
Well, my man, Granddaddy IU.
He's been a guest on the show. We love him. Yeah.
Granddaddy. My man Trife, rest in peace. It's just hard to say, man. I mean, MF Doom's from Long Island. I love MF Doom. I mean, you can go on and on. I'm not gonna just name a bunch of my personal people I know, but when it comes to dudes from Long Island, I mean, I think Long Island really has gotten its just due. I don't really feel like Long Island should have anything to prove. You know what I'm saying? Mad people have come from Long Island to change the game. So, shout out to the island, man.
Definitely. I was you have this line on Panic, you just talk about listening to Ron G. And it got me thinking, I was wondering what your early exposure to like mixtapes, blend tapes was.
Oh, okay, yeah, like Ron G, SNS, Kid Capri. That's what it was before mixtapes. It was blend tapes, you know what I'm saying? It would rock the old, Frankie Beverly and Maze, or mix some Stephanie Mills, acapellas with, honey drippers and stuff like that. So they were really blends and mixing, So I used to hang out with older dudes, man, you know what I'm saying? They used to take me out uptown with them, man, you know what I'm saying? And go hang on 125th, get fresh, and just, you know what I'm saying? And the mixtapes, the blend tapes, should I say, was always in the car, you know what I'm saying? So Ron G's tapes, SNS tapes, that was like the, that was our theme music, you know what I'm saying? That's how we rolled out. Just, them tapes was important.
Rap Genius.
You talk about getting fly. I know, like, the fashion sense is really big to you even now. I was hoping you'd talk a little bit about your style back then, maybe how it's changed now, that kind of stuff.
My style back then, just changed with the times, man. I mean, my style back then, oh man, I was just like Pelly Soda Club jackets, you know what I'm saying? Rocking them Soda Club jackets, Nike Harachis, You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Champion sweatsuits.
Good
A lot
one.
of Lecoq Sportif.
Remember those,
A
definitely.
lot of that. Elise.
Yeah.
You throw them Elises on.
Rap Genius.
And you have this one line on your first album. You know, you shout out, or not shout out, but name drop Fat Cat Nichols.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in a pun on your on your first album.
Yeah.
Do you remember that era of like Queens Hustlers or whatever?
Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was still a kid, so you know, but you would hear, you know, that type of stuff as you got a little older and more in the streets. You know, you would hear about dudes talking about Fat Cat. You know, dudes got it out in Queens and stuff like that. Like, you know, you would hear the old ass talk. You would hear about stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice. And I have to ask. You know, you shout out different like '80s, you know, fighters. You know, that reference the Leon Spinks Tyson fight, and you know, Mad Max, and some TV shows and stuff. What's some of your favorite stuff from the '80s that you still get down with today?
Mainly, I mean, that I still get down with today,
or that you remember,
made it from the '80s. Well. I'm about to say,
yeah.
Saturday morning cartoons, man. It's in the '80s, man. You know what I'm saying? '80s, '90s. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we had the best cartoons. I just remember that. Waking up, you know what I'm saying? Everything was on. Mr. T, the Littles. You know what I'm saying?
Mr. T, shout out to the Mr. T cartoon.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons, G.I. Joe, G-Force, Iron Man. You know what I'm saying? You know, just being a kid, that's what you remember. And, you know, karate. And, you know, the karate flicks come on after, you know what I'm saying? After cartoons, you know what I'm saying? You know? Yeah, trying to rock the sweatsuits like Bruce Lee with no shirt on under them, you know what I'm saying? Rock the sweatsuit with no shirt on under it like Bruce Lee. Mom dudes tell you, nah, you can't go outside with no shirt on, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was the good old days.
Nice. Cool. And definitely you have this amazing line on Scarface where you say the lyrics I wrote are showing unlimited growth, and that got me thinking. I was wondering what your goals were as a lyricist and how you challenge yourself.
I mean, just challenge yourself. You know what I'm saying? You just want you just want your lyrics to get better and better. So I don't feel like you should get worse as you get older. I feel like you should get better. So,
what are the kinds of things you do that you try to switch up? Like,
I think
you try and use different words or different flows, or
I mean, like I would say, one of my last, you know, things that I've been wanting to add to my style was adding humor to it. You know what I'm saying? And now, when I did that, people would come to me, even though it's like, you know, dry, I'm probably not saying it like, you know what I mean, like over expressing the humor, but how I put little things in there, I wanted to add some humor to my stuff. And people come to me, certain people with, you know, fans or, you know, not even fans, supporters, be like, yo, you funny, man, this line, yo, this is funny, and I'd be like, wow, so it's kind of working, you know what I'm saying? I've been thinking that I've been wanting to add that to my music for a minute, so.
Yeah, I was just talking to someone about that before you showed up, actually, about like this, like, you don't let on that stuff is funny, but you'll say outrageous things and funny things. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's like, on the music tip, I would feel like it's more like Larry David. It's that dry humor. It's like, you know, it's not for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I wanted to talk for a second about you have in a couple of your lyrics you talk about your father, and sort of hint at your, you know, who he was and how you feel about him. I was hoping you could talk a little bit about your relationship with him.
Oh yeah, my pops died in 2005. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, my pops. You know, my pops was a great man. You know what I'm saying? My pops was a great man. Love him to death. You know what I'm saying? You know, so you know he helped instill some of this music in me too. You know what I'm saying? So you know. Yeah, my pops was a real, he was a music collector. Some of my first early beats was from my pop's records, actually. Or, yeah, so, yeah. Shout out to the old king, rest in peace.
And changing tack a little bit. On Snow, you have this. You call yourself the Fly Bum, and I just thought that was such like a funny thing, like putting these two words that most people would think of as opposites together. And I was hoping you'd talk about maybe how you came up with that or what that means to you.
The Fly Bum.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, street dudes. That's what we all are. Like, you know what I'm saying? We fly, but we don't, you know. Most of us that's out in the streets, you know, dudes are poor, but they don't look it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that. It's just about like being fresh, but you're not a rich dude. You might look rich, but you're not rich. So, you know, the Fly Bum.
Nice. And I have to ask the famous Roc Marciano line on "It's a Crime," the whore's offered to drink my urine line.
Yeah.
Has anything like that ever actually happened?
Nah, I would never even fuck with a bitch who would drink my fucking piss. But
what's the weirdest thing in that sort of vein that
what you mean?
You talk about? Is there anything else that was like kind of weird like that you know?
Oh, things with women?
Yeah.
As far as like, that's kink. I'm not really like a kinky dude like that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, certain women have their fetishes, man. You know what I'm saying? Certain women, I peed on a bitch or two. You know what I'm saying? So, probably not in their mouth, but I peed on a few bitches.
I was reading an interview with you, and you talked about wanting to make a well-rounded album. You used Life After Death as an example. You know, and that was, I think, why everyone still loves Big so much, is that he was just really good at everything.
Yeah.
Do you think that the new record is going to have that kind of well-rounded vibe?
I'm gonna strive for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna strive for it. What Big did was very special. Like, that's a special. Actually, that's an album that's always in my car. I got always got Life After Death. I'm gonna try, man. I'm gonna try, but it might not be this one. You know, it might not be this one. Where it's like, you know, that's a double CD. Also, you got it depends. You need a mastermind also helping you out, man. I give Puff Daddy a lot of credit, man, because, you know, he was bringing a lot of that R&B sound to hip hop, which made, you know, Life After Death what it was, because it had also had a R&B feel on certain songs. So that's also having like a producer with you. When I do my albums by myself, mainly how I've been doing them, and I'm the main director, they like Tarantino flicks. Like, you gotta let me do what I do my way, or any other director. You know what I'm saying? Scorsese, I'm gonna do my style. And when I work with somebody else, that may pull some of that stuff, you know, out the hatch, and we might deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So, but not this album.
Well, this album is the first time you've worked with a gang of collaborators on the same record, right? What was it like to have other people rhyming over your beats? Were you like happy? Were you protective? Were you like, that's not what I heard over it?
Oh, absolutely not. I wasn't protective. I was, you know what I'm saying? I was happy to hear, you know, people I respect rhyming over my beat. That's the fun part. And as far as like doing a project that's a collaboration, you know, a compilation, it's a little, it's some will feel it's easier because you got other people on the song, so you don't have to do as much writing. But when you're doing songs with other people, you still want the songs to, you know, there has to be chemistry. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's also a challenge in itself, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, that was the fun part too, you know what I'm saying? Working with different people, you know what I'm saying, on every song. You want the album to sound good all the way through. So, you know, that's a challenge.
So for the next section here, which lasts about 4 minutes, our mics went nuts, and Roc was opening up a long-awaited dinner. So there's a lot of extra noise. We did what we could to eliminate it, but we decided what he said was so great that we had to leave it in.
If the noise drives you absolutely crazy, you can skip ahead about 4 minutes to the next section of the interview.
And I know that Mossberg was the first time you'd owned a drum machine. Was just being you and a drum machine in the room, did that have an effect on how you rhymed over your beats?
Yeah, actually having my own drum machine and making the beats that I wanted to make, it just opened my style up even more. It's like becoming your own designer, your own clothes. So it's like every day you can wear exactly what you want to wear because you're making it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's how my music was coming out. Like every song, I was rapping on something that was tailor-made for me. So yeah, that was definitely a good thing when I started doing the producing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And I know now you're making a bit of a career transition, still rhyming, but moving into the executive world as well. Mm-hmm. The VP over at Man Bites Dog is doing a lot of A&R stuff. Mm-hmm. Who'd you learn how to A&R from?
I didn't learn how to A&R from anybody because it's just really choosing artists who know how to create music. You know what I'm saying? So I just rock with people I'm a fan of. Like, so if I hear an artist nobody knows about him or whatever the case may be, I can still be a fan of him. It doesn't matter if he's popular or not. I can still see something in it. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much that's A&R and you know, it's not the full job, but to me that's a big part of it, being able to choose good talent. So nobody taught me that. I just use my heart.
I know while you make your records, I know the second NWA album is a big inspiration.
Niggas for Life, that stayed in the car too. To me, that album is like an action-packed movie from start to finish, and there's not a bored minute. You know what I'm saying? That's probably right there. It's probably one of the most entertaining albums of all time to me.
Yeah, and I know you have a pretty special relationship with Reasonable Doubt. Mm-hmm. You know, because I know you heard it at a time in your life in which you were sort of experiencing a lot of stuff that was actually going on there.
It was motivation. It was definitely motivation. I tell you that much. It was motivation, man. Because Jay was talking a lot of big Willie Ball and shit. Like, you know, the dudes, you know, were out there trying to get. You know what I'm saying? But didn't have it yet. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that album is a phenomenal album. It just also would just remind you of how broke you was.
Definitely. Yeah. And what I know that you've been a real favorite amongst, like, you know, obviously fans, but also particularly like critics and bloggers and people like that. Mm-hmm. Why do you think that essentially critics and bloggers and those kinds of people kind of like you so much?
I don't know. That's a good question. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't take it for granted, but I would have to say, if I was to take a guess at it, is maybe they could just hear, you know, the love for the music and you know what I'm doing, because I love what I do. So that's my opinion.
Cool. And so I know you have a bunch of stuff, as always, in the pipeline. I know, you know, different projects and things like that. Can you tell us a little bit about what you have coming up?
Marcy Boku.
What's the date on that?
It's no date. It'll be in September though.
Okay.
Marcy Boku. Arch Druids. Scorched Earth Policy.
That's something with Alchemist.
Alchemist, yep. Our project, my man Kai, Metal Clergy, and just more for me, my next solo. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, we look forward to hearing all of it.
It's coming.
Yeah. Excellent. Anything else you want our listeners to know, fans to know before we sign off?
Just Marcy Boku, man. Get it. It's coming soon. Mossberg and Reloaded is in stores. Pardon me for eating, y'all. I'm starving, so I gotta eat. Yeah, that's it. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, thanks for coming by.
Oh man, thanks for having me.